knitting and I guess other craft podcast. It's been a very long time since I've sat down to film. I have been making lots of things, but life has been super busy. Like with work, it's just been a bit crazy and I haven't had necessarily all the energy to get in front of a camera and start filming a YouTube podcast. But I did actually film one back in January where there's 3 finished objects and a couple of whips. So I will include that footage. I was still a brunette then. I have since dyed my hair blonde. This is partially on the way to being the blonde that I'm aiming for, but that's beside the point. I've got a lot of things to talk to you today, so I'm going to add the filming that I did in January in a little bit, where there was 3 finished objects, but today I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished objects to share and a couple of whips. So it is going to be a pretty packed episode. I've also just gotten back from Japan. I made this for my trip because it's summer there and it's winter in Australia. So I also am going to be filming right after this a little haul and sort of a bit of I didn't go to too many stores because I got a bit sick in Japan. Well, actually was very sick. So I only got to go to 2 in Tokyo. But I had a really good experience in both stores, particularly one of them, and I bought a lot at that one store. So there will be a little bit of a review and also a mini haul there. So I think I should probably get started. I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is, I forget the name of the pattern, unfortunately, but I've already made one. And I'll put a clip in here of the one that I've already made as well. So this is my second version of this. It's got gathered sleeves, and here I just did a simple band. They do have the option to do like a tie or a button. I was a bit lazy and stretched for time, and honestly I think this works perfectly for me. It's just a plain band, but I did do a new technique actually, which I've never done before, which is stitch in the ditch. So I've got, you can see there's bits where I was learning, so you can see the stitching a little bit if I pull it out. I mean, it's actually, see there, okay, you can see a tiny bit of the stitching there. Still got a bit of a cold, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wore this a couple of days in Japan, so I'll show you what it looks like. So it's really flowy, extra gathered here, pretty simple shapes. I've tried to pattern match as much as possible across here, which I really like, and on the sleeves. And so it's just really nice. Hits, I don't know, just above, halfway down the bum here, or just above, and sort of brings up at the top. It does tend to slip back on your shoulders a bit, but I don't really mind it because it is long enough to still stay covering there. So it's actually a really good work shirt as well. Yeah, I really like it. I think there's a tiny bit of extra fabric on this side here just with the way it's folded, so I might actually just do a hand stitch to make that super clean, so that it doesn't gape at all here. But yeah, I really loved wearing this top. It was also, it feels like the pattern feels a little bit Japanesey. The fabric I got a couple of years ago now. When I first got into sewing, I was sort of buying up lots of fabric. This one is from Blackbird Fabrics and it's a Canadian fabric store. So yeah, that's finished object number 1. Number 2 is actually, I'll be talking about it majority in what I filmed in January because I was working on it a lot then. But I finished my Cumulus tee by Petite Knit. So I wore this also in Japan, and I've worn this since or before as well, and I really love it. It's a little bit crinkled from being in my suitcase, but I'll pop it on and show you quickly. Okay, this is my Cumulus blouse. It's made out of Jaipur silk, and I really love it. I've loved wearing it in Japan also. I love how drapey it is. It's just really nice. I can wear this to work also. and the days when I'm in the city office and not on site, but I really like the clean finish the I-cord makes on the neckband here and on the sleeves. So I don't know what happened at this bit here. Somehow my stitches just got a real kind of loose and a bit strange, so I'm actually not sure what happened there. It's not on the other sleeve. But anyway, I'm super happy with this finished object. I love the colour, I love the drape. It's really comfortable. Silk's also, it's very breathable. Like I could wear this in 30 degrees Tokyo. So I am very happy with this one. It is too cold now in Melbourne to be wearing something like this. Actually, I wore it the other day to the office. I just had a big coat on to get to the office. So yeah, I really love this one. And I would consider making it again. It is quite the commitment to go for making this because it's light fingering weight and just takes a really, really long time. But the effect is so good that I wouldn't mind having another one in this sort of a yarn, like a super drapey silk like this. Like you can see, it's just the fabric is beautiful. Anyway, so there'll be more, maybe a description back when I was closer to making it in January that I'll chop in. But otherwise, I have a cousin who has has had a baby recently, and I've made a little jumpsuit for her. It's a little baby girl. I've just got to sew on some snaps onto the bottom. So this fabric, I've made a long sleeve top out of it for me before, so I just found the scraps and it's super cute. I think this was a free pattern I just downloaded online. All the description for these patterns will be down below. I'm really not very good at remembering all the names, but anyway, so this was a free download pattern. I just printed it off at the local Officeworks and got to making this. So it's really sweet. It has, so that it's easy to get over a baby's head because their heads are very fragile at the start. It's actually completely open, so it's not like a normal neckline, so you can have, there's a lot of space there, and then it just folds over beautifully, and there's the sweetest little arms. I've got to get this to her and get it finished because her baby is born. And yeah, I'll put some snaps on the bottom here and it'll be a super sweet little jumpsuit for a baby girl. So that's something that I've got to get officially finished and get to her. So yeah, that is finished object number 3. Number 4, this is just a gift for my mum. I've made this for her. She uses hot water bottles. I had this yarn I originally used in the Shift Cowl by Andrew Mowry. I think it was the Shift. And I get why they want the, it's a specific type of yarn. Maybe I'll put that on the screen, but it's basically color changing throughout, not variegated like this, but it is beautiful hand dyed yarn. This one I don't think is hand dyed, but this one is. And I just found a hot water bottle pattern. I think it's by Maker. And then I found a pattern, a charted pattern just on Pinterest. And I adapted, I found the right stitch count and used that to make this pattern here. So there we go, maybe you can see that a little bit better. Yeah, she is saying it is quite, she lives up in Queensland, which is supposed to be quite warm, but at the moment in winter she's in sort of the mountains area. And she's been saying it's been a little bit chilly, so I've got to get this one to her. Nice hot water bottle to keep her a little bit warmer on those cold mornings. Yes, that's finished object number 4. I don't really have anything more to say about this. It's very easy, simple, super quick knit as knitting goes. And yeah, it's basically a one size fits all. I had a hot water bottle. I didn't think too much about the sizing. It was just pretty standard and made it to there. There's a tiny bit of extra fabric here. I'm hoping that gets sort of used up when it gets filled with water. But I've got to ship this to her, so I'm not going to go fill it with water. Yep, that is finished object number 4. Number 5, this is finished and not finished. So I just finished this last night. It is a Petite beanie pattern, I think. Everything's on my phone, and my phone I'm using to film, so it's got a really nice decrease pattern. I'll put this on. It's not for me, it's for my brother, so it should be a bit big on me. It is quite nice, actually. I do like it. But he's got a much bigger head than me. I actually have a children's size head. Adult hats don't fit me. I need ages, anywhere between 3 and 6 years old fits me. I sort of go, the next time I get a helmet for a snowboarding or something, I've got to get a children's size, because I have to wear a thick beanie under the smallest with the smallest. Anyway, too much information about my head size, but it doesn't look small because of all this hair. But my brother has a more normal man-sized head, so I've made this for him. It isn't finished because I intend to, so he's kind of difficult to think of what I should make him. I've always struggled with, what should I make him that he would really appreciate? So I've made him a beanie, but I'm actually going to knit. I think the best way to do it, I was thinking, okay, I could stitch in the name. So his friends have a nickname for him, Crouchy, because our last name is Crouch. So I'm actually thinking though, it's kind of, I like when there's those patches on hats that are like, you know, they're kind of like a branded patch of the name rather than it being stitched in. So I actually think I'm going to knit a patch and knit Crouchy into that patch and then sew it on the front in this yarn, but with a white contrast. I think that'll be really nice and a fun way to do that. So I will take a photo maybe, and I'll show in a later podcast or something like that. But that's the plan for this one. With the yarn, let me just go grab the yarn. Okay, I'm back. I have 19 grams left of this yarn, but I'm really happy with this yarn. I got this one on sale. I think I have it in my haul video from the video I got made in January. It is, I've got it kind of scrunched up here. I actually got it on sale, which was nice. It was $23 and now it is $15. So this is the yarn. It's super soft. It's beautiful, beautiful feel. In the skein it felt nice, good, but knitted up it is much more special. The composition is 50% rabbit angora, which is why it feels so great. 25% merino wool and 25% polyamide. When I first saw that polyamide, I was like, oh, you know, not great, I'd rather it just be fully wool, but I think I've sort of puzzled out why you probably need the polyamide, because the rabbit angora hairs would probably be very short hairs. So you need something to strengthen up to strengthen up the yarn and ensure that the rabbit angora can, you know, be woven in nicely. I don't know exactly how it's made, but basically I think it's to combat the short hairs of the rabbit angora and make sure that it's securely in there. So there was 270 meters, so around a DK weight, light DK, and this was dye lot 2911, color inv, I don't know, 0402, it doesn't matter. It's like a misty grey blue. It's grey, but I'd say there's that undertone of blue to it. And I would 100% get this yarn again from Aslan Trends Natural Luxury Yarns. Super good price, as you could see, $23 Australian, but down to 15. Even $23 for a 100 gram skein is, I think it's pretty good. And I would consider Actually, I would like to get this yarn, if I can find it, if it's still out there, for a jumper project, possibly, because it just feels beautiful. Yeah, maybe I can show you a bit more. There's the way that this decreases goes. It's quite a nice effect. Very smooth, and yeah, I'd like to make a beanie like this for myself in this pattern. Yeah, I think it would be lovely. I do wonder how it would wear in a garment though, being as soft as it is. It's very soft with the rabbit angora. I do, yeah, the only thing that I'm a little bit unsure about is how it would wear regarding pilling. But it's so good, I'm willing to give it a shot and de-pill it if I need to. So I really like this. And hopefully I can get it to my brother soon, because his birthday was in May and it was a birthday present. So I'll just jump straight into it with what I'm wearing. I just finished this up. This fabric is from a store in Canada called Blackbird Fabrics, and I've had it for a couple of years. I think it is like a viscose or rayon type material. I can't quite remember because I got it so long ago and it's just been sitting there to make. This is a free pattern. I will put the name here because I've forgotten the name. So it's a free pattern with very limited instructions on the website, but it's quite simple to make up. We've got this bit here is double faced, so I'll undo the bows. So you can also wear it like this. So here you've got it double faced, and on the back there is a back panel here. And there's some gathering underneath there. I just like how flowy this is, and this is also lined at the top with some nice easy elasticated sleeves. I wore this to work the other day, which is really nice, so I'll show you a bit what it looks like. So you've got some gathering just here as well as on the back. So just nice, simple, pretty summer top that I think is really appropriate for the office as well. So I got to wear this to the office for a customer meeting and yeah, I really like it so far. So I kind of like both ways actually, wearing it open or with the bows. Good, simple process. I'm not sure if there's too much more to say, but I'm really glad to finally get this out of my stash. I think I'd like to start doing, I've been really focusing on knitting for like the past year, but I'd like to get back into the sewing as well. So this was, I'm hoping, the start of that. I cut it up last year and hadn't finished it, so I've finished it off this year. And I hope to make a fair few more sewing objects this year. So this is number one. I think that's all there is to say about it, so I'll skip into what people are generally here for. I think is the knitting. My first finished object, I will just go get and change into at the same time. Okay, so this was one of my last finished objects of last year. It is the Nordstrand pullover, which is another free pattern, which is really cool to say. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving the effect of the low contrast between the light purple and the thicker purple as well. And I mostly did to pattern. Actually, I made a fair few mistakes and had to redo this bit twice, but it is now to pattern. I actually really like how this is quite tight fitting for me. I usually have a lot more positive ease in my knits, but I'm actually really liking how this feels. I did modify the pattern a bit and do a split hem with a shorter 1x1 rib at the bottom and longer at the back. In my last episode I did talk about the yarn a fair bit, and I do really like it. Quite warm, so that's a good thing. I do really like the yarn. However, I had a bad experience with the last ball. All the other balls were fine, but the last ball was really slubby and had huge variations between thin and thick yarn. The yarn information will be on my Ravelry. I've got to start to upload all these informations to my Ravelry, but I did discuss it in my last podcast if you were curious. I think it's was called Wild Wool, if I'm not wrong. So I can't wait to wear this once it gets a little bit colder. At the moment it's way too hot and I am boiling up, but I think it's a really nice free pattern. It was written well, the pattern's lovely, it's gorgeous. I really like actually having something like this in my wardrobe with a bit of a slimmer fit. I think it'll be good for those coats that can't take as much, you know, bulk underneath them. I think from memory I actually did change the arms a little bit. I think it was wanting it to be more slimmed down. I made the hem here the same as in the champagne cardigan because I actually really love the length of the rib, so I just copied exactly that. I laid it against my champagne cardigan and did the same thing, and it's blocked out beautifully. I think it's now quite very neat if you can see all the stitches there. I'm finding that right now it is pulling up a little bit there, so I don't know what I can do about that or if it'll relax with time. I think it's quite tight around this section here. Not tight, uncomfortable tight, but it's not, there's not got much positive ease there. I think it's almost bang on just around this shoulder section here with the colour work. Yeah, this is last finished object of last year. I was thinking about doing a 2024 finished objects or finished items sort of video, but like I said, I wasn't feeling like filming too much. I wasn't really in that mood and it kind of just came and went. I think maybe I'll do one for 2025. I've got a lot of plans that I'm starting to think through for this year, but I just wasn't feeling it. So if you're curious, they're all in my podcasts anyway, all the things that I've made. So this was finished object chronologically number 1. And I'm going to take it off now because it's just too warm, and I'll put on my next finished object. Okay, this is my next finished object. This is blouse number 1 by, is it My Favorite Things Knitwear, or was this Petite Knit? No, it was, ooh. It'll be on the screen. Today, to be honest, in general, I'm not the greatest at remembering pattern names, so just bear with me with that. It'll always be on the screen and in the description box. This I made with a beautiful bamboo cotton that I've spoken about before, and this was my first finished object of this year. I made the size medium, and I think that's the sort of fit that I wanted. I was a bit worried with the small that it would turn out too fitted, and I didn't really want that. I wanted the positive ease in around here and for it to be a nice shirt to wear to work. I've had this crumpled up in my room for a little bit, so excuse if it needs a bit of steaming. So far I've actually worn this a couple of times in the summer and it's really pretty, very comfortable. Again, it might be a little bit too warm for the weather that we've got now, like today, but this was really nice process. I liked the construction. I haven't done something like this, I think, too much before. I don't know, it's a very simple pattern and I liked the bracelet length sort of sleeve, so I didn't go super long. And I'm liking this roll sort of feature and just in the way it ends. I did really like the process and the way that this shoulder is shaped and made. So very happy with the pattern. I would say that reflecting on it, there was a few moments when I think the pattern could have been written better. there was a few repeat rows that it took me a couple times, maybe it was just me, but it took me a couple times to reread, and make sure that what I was going to do would get me the right stitch counts. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. Would consider, yeah, I mean, I would just wanted a nice plain white, something that would be casual, easy, but could also be dressed up nicely. At the moment I'm just wearing some leggings and that's not really doing it justice, but I like the choice of fibre, the bamboo cotton. I'm using it in a couple of my other projects, and yeah, I got this one from Spotlight. I think it's Motivera yarn, the bamboo cotton. Yeah, again, don't know, this is just done. I'm very happy to have it finished and off my needles. Then I've got three whips to show you. One I'm gonna undo. So I'm really excited to make this pattern. It's just that I messed up the pattern. So I was supposed to do a break, like I've done a cable each round, but that's supposed to be just knitting, cable, knitting, cable. So this is the back of, I forgot the pattern name, of course, it's on the screen here. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love this color. This color is just beautiful. What's the color called? Color 819. Oh, how interesting. It's like this limey green, and I think it'll make a beautiful little vest type thing, vest top. And so yeah, this is the back. I'm gonna undo it. I might as well block it though, and I will use this for my gauge even though it's a cable instead of knit. And yeah, I'll just undo the back and, well, everything, and start again. But it's using this Morris & Sons Empire 8-ply yarn. So it's 125 meters per 50 grams. So these are 50 gram balls. I think I got 6 balls. And yeah, color 819, dye lot 2107. But it's 100% Australian superfine merino. This Morris & Sons is a big store in Melbourne. So I got this there, and yeah, it's a lovely store. Huge variety selection, hand dyed, beautiful, beautiful yarns. So this one is one of their own branded yarns. And yeah, since I'm gonna undo this, we won't talk much more on that. The other thing I think I have a photo, so I'll share it. But I'm using this yarn. It's also got from Morris & Sons. It's grey, but if you can see those colour speckles, it gives a really nice fabric. Sorry, still a little bit sick. I might just... That's a bit better. Okay, yeah, so I'm making these beautiful kind of Japanesey slippers. So I made them up for my mum initially, and she didn't like them. Basically, she didn't like them because she's got some, you know, hip issues, and to reach down and put on these socks, it's harder than... I got her some slippers a couple of years ago where she can just slide her feet in, and she loves those. But the ones where she'd have to bend down and pull them on, she wasn't sure that they would really suit her. So I made them up thinking, oh, they'll be great for me then, because I wanted to make a pair anyway. And they were too small. So I've learnt my lesson. I need to size up on that. They were just a little bit too tight for me. So I've given them to my friend Naz, and she really likes them. Actually, I've given her one because I've only made one. So I've got to make her second out of this, but it's this really cool, it's got this honeycomb type stitch and a double knitted, was it double knitting? I think it was double knitted, yeah, double knitted base, and then some I-cord around the honeycomb and to attach it to the base, there was a little bit of crochet. But I originally got into knitting and stuff and crochet altogether, so I was pretty comfortable with the crochet bit. It is very small, minimal amount of crochet, but the pattern is really cool and beautiful. So after I finish making her second pair, because she's about a size smaller than me, I will make my own. But I don't think I thought I might have enough for 2 little socks, but because of the honeycomb and the double knitting, it actually does take up more yarn than I estimated. So I might have to go back to Morris & Sons and get another one of these, and then to be able to make my pair as well. So that is that project, even though I can't actually show you. Maybe I've got a photo of what I'm making for it. The third one I just started last night, or no, the night before, and it's one that I've been dreaming about for a long time. I got this yarn in Venice a year and a half ago now, and I'm making the Helia sweater. So I'm up to here, and the raglan has these cool sections. It's 8 stitches for the raglan, and it is like a knit through the back loop purl, knit through the back loop purl. So it's I think it's called twisted rib here, and then there's these great cable patterns, and again some twisted rib on the sleeves. So the sleeves are the real showstopper for this pattern, but I also wanted the majority, a good amount, to be just stocking net stitch to showcase this beautiful yarn. So I'm using Knitting for Olive Merino Cream. I think it's 4 plies, so fingering weight. They come in 50-gram balls, so I'm using this as the base. And then the special yarn that I got in Venice is this Lana Gatto St. Moritz, made in Italy. It's 80% alpaca, 17% polyamide, 3% liner wool. It's this super fuzzy, beautifully dyed yarn, and there is 580 meters in each of these balls. So it's this lace weight yarn, and you can actually see a little bit of it there. Yeah, so I'm really excited now to be finally making this project. Yep, there's not much to say on that. So far it does take a bit of concentration, I would say, this project, because there is a lot going on once you get to the sleeves. So I want to probably power through it to get to the sleeves, finish the sleeves off, and then just having this thing as a majority stockinette project. And then I can cast on something else fun or recast on this. But since it's more of a summer or spring, I might put this on hold while I get into some of my other knits that I want to make for winter. So that is the last project that I had to show today. And since I have a lot more to actually show you, I'm going to end it here. And jump across and start filming what I got in Japan and my review of the knitting stores that I went to. So if you're interested in seeing that, it is probably the first video that I'll upload, because this one will be a bit longer and I'm not the most in love with the editing process. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm happy to be sharing some of the things that I'm making again, and enjoy your day.